Hey everybody, this is Darren Van Dam, and you are watching Flick Connection, the show that helps you get more out of movies. And today I want to tell you about some of the worst movies that you should watch on Netflix. Now, I'm just coming off of October where I recommended round about 100 different horror movies across all different streaming services. If you want to check any of those videos out, they're very recently done. Just subscribe, click the bell, look at recent videos. There's a ton of recommendations there that you can still watch. However, during that process, I screened so many movies, I found some that are terrible, just terrible B movies that have some redeeming qualities that are worth watching. So, for this video, and because you asked for it, you wanted bad movies, I'm giving you some bad ones that might be worth watching. I'm going to try to set expectations as best I can. Starting this list off at the back of the list, meaning number 1 is going to be really well worth watching, but it still is a B movie. But number 10, tread lightly with the Chernobyl Diaries. Now, this one came out in a wide theatrical release, and it's okay. The reason it makes this list, though, is because it had some really cool elements, and there's something there that could have been much better than what we actually got. So if you watch it through that lens, I think you'll probably really enjoy this one. There's a couple of sequences that unfold, and I was really surprised. I thought the movie was going in a certain direction, and it totally could have. I think they needed a little bit more money. Ultimately, I got a little bored with this one, and it really is not that great. However, it's surprisingly better than I had expected it to be. Had it been a little bit different, I think it would have been much higher on this list, if on this list at all. Another one with similar qualities is Man vs. Now, if you were a fan of Man vs. Wild or the old Bear Grylls show, it's very much like that in that you've got a TV host out in the woods by himself, setting up cameras and doing a show in the same format. However, he starts to notice odd things, unnatural things, starts to feel like he's being stalked, and it plays out well. I like maybe the script for this one. I thought it was fairly well written and it was a clever idea. However, they didn't make very good use of the fact that this guy has these cameras everywhere. It could have been a little bit more of a found footage thing. And even though I'm burned out on that format, I think I would have liked it more. Instead, they shot it from a completely different perspective, and it's okay. I liked it enough, felt like it could have been better, and then ultimately the thing, we'll say, that is hunting him, they went for it. I'll give them credit for going for it, but I was very underwhelmed by the end of the movie. However, there are, like I said, there's some redeeming qualities. If the concept interests you and you've got nothing else to watch, this could be a good one to go with. But again, we're all the way at the back of the list still. At number 8 is one I really, really wanted to like, is Stakeland II. Now, Stakeland is a really cool post-apocalyptic vampire flick. Really well done, really gritty. I love that movie. It has been on and off Netflix, so you might catch it again in the future. However, Stakeland 2 is on, and to me, this felt more like the pilot for a Stakeland series, and it didn't play as well as a movie. Certainly not as good as the original Stakeland, but I love the original so much, and I like the concept of this post-apocalyptic rabid vampire. They're almost like zombies, but they're vampiric. I like that concept so much that I still enjoyed Stakeland 2, although I enjoyed it way, way less than the original. Bedeviled is a kind of cool movie about an app, a smartphone app, that is possessed and can manipulate things, whatever. It sounds really stupid, and it is. Remember, these are B movies, but it's very low budget, which gives it like a level of charm that you're not going to get from movies like Friend Request, which is basically about like a demon that gets you through Facebook. Again, dumb idea, but because of that B-level quality, it's got like some charm where some things are just a little bit silly, but other things are surprisingly scary. So you kind of get pushed and pulled with this one a little bit, and I was actually surprised at how much I liked it. At number 6, Would You Rather is a Saw-like kind of a movie in that it revolves around a dinner party full of people who are playing a game for a large sum of money, and they have to do, it's kind of like a truth or dare. They have to do these dares. They just increase. They get exponentially worse and worse. It's got some cool little performances from some faces you'll recognize, including a porn star, which makes this a B movie. It is undoubtedly a bad movie, but it's clever enough that it is worth watching, which is why it's right here in the middle of this list. It is a gross out movie. The poster for this, it features an eyeball about to be sliced with a razor. So if you don't like anything like that, stay far away from this one. But if you liked movies like Saw, this is actually a nice little gem that a lot of people did not see. If you like this type of content, be sure to click the subscribe button and the little bell icon so you get notified when I put new videos out. But I typically am recommending very good movies on Netflix and other streaming services rather than the bad ones. 2307 Winter's Dream is a cool little sci-fi, like post-apocalyptic science fiction movie with a really cool concept, very, very low budget execution, a couple of performances that are horrendous, but it's clever. It's got something going on there that could be really cool. It definitely suffers from not enough money, and I'm all for super low budget movies, but the concept for this one is so elaborate and really requires so many special effects that this movie misses the mark with that. However, if you can watch it through that lens as like a concept that could be fleshed out and turned into more, it's kind of cool that you get to see it. It's like almost like a little student film that just like, it's got these cool qualities to it and this cool idea. And there are some sequences that I was surprised, like they looked really good. This movie's so weird in the sense that there's some shots that look just totally dumb. They look like test footage. And there's others that look very, very good. They look like they're from a much better movie. If any of that interests you and you just want to see what it's all about, give this one 15 minutes. If you're not into it in the first 15, you should probably bail. But I finished it and I liked it and wanted to like it more. All right, and at number 4, here's where we kind of get into some of the like cool ones that I really almost put onto some other lists, but they just, I couldn't do it. Corbin Nash is about a vampire hunter, yet not, it's got this cool concept. Corey Feldman plays this weird transsexual vampire demon thing. Almost too weird. And then there's this like sort of battle royale that these like elite vampires hold with humans that they keep in cages. And you don't get to see a lot of it. Like a lot of stuff is like in the dark, literally, because the budget for this is so low. But it's got kind of a cool vibe. There's like neon lights and strippers and blood and like kind of cool music. And Malcolm McDowell has a really small but sort of interesting role. And I think he also plays the narrator. I could have liked this one a lot more, but it was so weird and just sort of Corey Feldman again, just it was too much. But there was a lot to like with this one. So if you're into this list and you want to watch like a bad movie that's actually kind of good, Corbin Nash would be a great place to start. The Vault is a pretty cool little movie. It's not really a horror movie. Some of you in the comments, because I have recommended this one before, have said, yes, it is. Yeah, but if you go into it expecting a horror movie, you're not going to really be, you're going to be let down by it. But it's about a bank heist, and then weird stuff starts to happen in the bank. James Franco is oddly in this movie. Like, it's a pivotal role, but you don't see him much. Some of the hair and makeup is weird and, in my opinion, took me out of the movie. Yet other elements of the bank heist are pretty cool. It gets graphic, surprisingly graphic at times. And then it just kind of is a little bit of a mess, but it's still this cool idea. I love a good bank heist, and this one's a mediocre one. But it had so many different elements that I liked that I ultimately liked the movie, even though I still somehow like kind of didn't. Another one that falls into that category, but that had a wide release, is the Lazarus Effect. Now, I stayed away from this one for a long time. It's got horrible reviews, and that's not the only reason I stayed away from it. It just didn't. I saw clips, and I'm not impressed, yet I like the cast. Olivia Wilde is in it. Mark Duplass. Childish Gambino is in it. I like a lot of things about it, and it's a cool concept about some scientists that figure out how to bring somebody back from the dead. It's got sort of a, mad scientist type of a thing going on, and it's a cool concept. It's executed fairly well, but it fell short for me, which is why it is a bad movie. It had so many opportunities to do so much more, even with the budget that they had. They could have really gone for it a little bit more, and ultimately, the movie feels held back to me. It feels like they could have done a lot more, but it's still cool enough, and I'm kind of ashamed that I didn't watch it sooner, because it deserved to be watched, which is why I got it near the top of this list. And then finally, my number one pick is called Residue. Now be careful, because there's also a series, a science fiction series called Residue. You want to find the movie. It's about an hour and 20 minutes long, and it is a B movie, but it's really cool. Like, I almost want to include it in another list of like good movies to recommend, but because it is got so many just sort of bad, like low budget, poor quality elements, I can't, but I really almost made this list specifically to recommend this movie. So it's got a cool H.P. Lovecraft vibe going on. It's about a private detective investigating these series of murders, and it's slightly in the future, which is another reason it doesn't look that good, is because like the tech and stuff is done like in After Effects, like it's super cheap. But this movie has a ton of charm. The main character, the private detective, he's good. He's a little bit gritty, but a little bit cheesy at the same time. He plays it very, very well for this type of a movie. It's got a cool science fiction vibe. It's got some horror elements. I thought it was just a lot of fun. It's kind of a cool little like film festival type of a movie. So if you want to have a fun night, you want to watch something, pop some popcorn and watch something kind of cool and different that is low budget, that was made for, a salary maybe at most, I would recommend Residue. Check it out. Let me know which ones you've seen in the comments below and what you thought. Am I off my rocker for doing this? But I will say, you have been begging me in the comments. I get more requests for this type of list than any other, and I can't really do it because you don't understand how many bad movies there are. If you were to just scroll, it's just a bottomless pit of horrible movies that no one should ever watch. I figured I'd at least bring you ones that I think that you should watch. Tread lightly with these. Take my recommendations. I tried to temper them as best as possible, but I'll make another one like this in the future if enough of you watch it. So be sure to click the like button, share it. But thanks for checking this one out, and you will see me on the next one.